Madison. As an innocent driver continues to recover from serious injuries, we're following new developments in the story. Western Mass News obtained new video taken by a bystander at Wednesday's multi-vehicle crash in West Springfield. Authorities say it started with a police pursuit in Holyoke and ended with that crash on Riverdale Street, landing 5 people in the hospital, 3 of them police officers. Now joining us live from the site of that crash, we turn it over to Western Mass News reporter Reagan Lokri for the latest. So Reagan, what does that new video show?
Well, Amanda, the new video we have definitely shows a very different perspective of the crash than what we've seen so far. Now we're going to take a look at your screen and you're going to see what appears to be police officers running over to the blue SUV that was hit by the suspect during the police pursuit Wednesday. The blue SUV is clearly not upright until what appears to be those same officers running over to flip it back over. Now we followed up with the district attorney's office today, who tells us the victim of Wednesday's wrong way crash remains in critical but stable condition. There are no updates at this time. A GoFundMe page describes her as a loving mother, daughter, and friend whose life changed in an instant. Now, we're not releasing her name since authorities haven't identified her publicly. Police say 37-year-old Carlos Maldonado of Springfield, who had 2 outstanding warrants and a stolen gun when officers spotted his Jeep on Route 5 Wednesday morning. A warning that the next video may be difficult to watch. When police tried to pull him over, they say Maldonado hit a police cruiser and fled. He drove the wrong way before crashing head-on into a blue Nissan near a car dealership. Maldonado ran but was quickly caught. Police found the stolen gun in his vehicle. 3 officers were hurt and taken to the hospital. Maldonado was also hospitalized. Maldonado has a criminal record that dates back to 2007. Now, we were curious about public safety guidelines when it comes to police pursuits like this one. Now, we did reach out to Holyoke Police. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to talk the last couple of days. Now, I did reach out to the Peace Officer Standards Training Commission of Massachusetts, and they also, now coming up tonight at 6, we're going to have more on what they have to say when it comes to their guidelines for pursuits. For now, reporting live in West Springfield, Reagan Lokri for Western Mass News.